This free program is paid for by the listener members of KPFK. If you're not already a member, consider joining with us and keep free speech alive.
You are listening to the evening news on Pacifica Radio, KPFA in Berkeley, KPFK Los Angeles, KFCF in Fresno, and online at kpfa.org. This hour-long newscast airs each night at 6 o'clock. Still to come tonight, San Francisco police open fire on a man in a wheelchair wielding a knife, the second officer-involved shooting of a mentally ill man within a week. While in Los Angeles, anti-police brutality activists call for a federal investigation of the LAPD and other police groups over a series of recent shootings.
We demand Justice Department to take action against a string of unprovoked police killings from Long Beach to Los Angeles to Oakland, across the country.
The families of California victims of police brutality are asking the U.S. Justice Department to investigate several officers involved in the shootings, among them last month's killing of Douglas Zerby, a Long Beach man who was holding a water hose nozzle when he was fatally shot by city police. The Zerby family attorney personally delivered a letter to officials calling for an independent criminal investigation into the 35-year-old's death. They were joined by activists with the Los Angeles Coalition for Justice for Oscar Grant, who held a rally at the Los Angeles Federal Building. Pacifica's Ernesto Arce was there. He follows this report from Los Angeles.
Tell Killer Cop! Tell Killer Cop! The Los Angeles Coalition for Justice for Oscar Grant joined the families of victims of fatal police shootings for a rally outside of the Los Angeles Federal Building. The group is asking the Obama administration to investigate several officer-involved shooting deaths across the state. Tiffany Wallace is a spokesperson for the coalition.
We demand Justice Department to take action against a string of unprovoked police killings from Long Beach to Los Angeles to Oakland, across the country.
In light of what coalition members called a slap on the wrist for the Oakland officer who shot Oscar Grant to death, Wallace wants an independent higher court to file federal charges against officers involved in what she described as unprovoked killings.
These are not isolated, disconnected incidents, but a systematic attack against the community by the state.
Douglas Zerby was shot and killed by Long Beach police last month after they confronted him in front of an apartment building holding a water hose nozzle. The 35-year-old was intoxicated and reportedly raised his arm when police shot him twice in the torso. He was handcuffed and pronounced dead on the scene. Eden Marie Beal, Zerby's sister, says the Long Beach Police Department is not cooperating or sharing information about the shooting with the family.
The Long Beach Police Department has blocked the release of the officer's name. They've also placed a security seal on my brother's autopsy, so they will not disclose any of that information to us. We are trying diligently to get to the bottom of what's going on. We are seeking the truth.
The Long Beach Police Department refused to comment, but soon after the shooting said officers on the scene followed protocol. Beal says the family obtained information through independent sources, which identified the officer as a first-year rookie of the force. She says a detective hired by the family has also countered the officer's incident report. Brian Claypool is an attorney for the Zerby family.
Through Oscar Grant's tragedy, the Zerby tragedy, and many other families, not only in Los Angeles, Long Beach, up through Oakland, this is a national epidemic. There's a disconnect between police departments nationwide and the community, and we need to bridge that gap.
Zerby was white, a fact that many activists say shows that police brutality crosses color and geographic boundaries. Marcus Higgins is a resident of South Los Angeles who has had his share of run-ins with police. He points to an increase in officer-involved shootings and the ongoing practice of biased policing, better known as racial profiling.
This could have been your family, his family. It feels like the law care about animal rights more than they do, because you heard about the guy that got 10 years for killing a dog off the 110 freeway.
Well, what do you think that says about society?
That human being don't mean nothing.
But many activists who condemn what they call police brutality say it isn't just a Los Angeles issue. Javier Ametralladora is an Oakland resident and supporter of the Oscar Grant family. He says the Bay Area media played an important role in suppressing the truth and vindicating the guilty officers.
The working class, the community, the black community, young people were demonstrating in force on the streets of Oakland. And the media tried to paint it as if it was simply white anarchists that were manipulating, dumb black people, essentially, which is incredible insult to the movement.
In Zerby's case, his family contends police had plenty of time to talk to him as they called in backup units, canine patrols, and a helicopter to lock down the neighborhood. Wallace insists that many people like Zerby pose little or no threat to officers.
It seems as though one of the reasons why it keeps happening is because there really isn't much of a consequence. If you were a doctor and a surgeon and you made that kind of error, you'd be sued for malpractice and you would go to jail. And yet we don't have those same rules for our police officers. And it's not a surprise that it continues to happen to families across geographical and cultural boundaries. No legal recourse except for the federal charges that we are demanding.
The Zerbe family is calling for additional training that ends the use of lethal force. The Oscar Grant Coalition is calling for justice and criminal charges against what it calls killer cops. In Los Angeles, I'm Ernesto Arce, Pacifica Radio, KPFK.
You're tuned in to Pacifica Radio, KPFK, 90.7 FM Los Angeles, 98.7 FM in Santa Barbara. Streaming around the universe on kpfk.org, where you can check out our past shows, podcasts, and more.